when you, at some point, if you do town hall meetings for your bank or your company and you're in front of your people and you don't have something valuable to say, that it actually drives down your perceived value as a leader. You need to be positioned as a person of authority, a person of influence, a person of interest. Okay? They need to want what you have. Okay? And I can't tell you how many people I see get an opportunity to communicate with their team, and they either in a way that screams conviction, that says, this is where we're going. This is how we're going to get there. We can't do it without you. This is what you need to know, is very, very critical. When you meet really, really great leaders of companies, most of those people have coaches, speech coaches. Like when you meet the big time ones. I remember when Doug Crookshanks was the president of First Bank. And he thought he was a good communicator because he enunciated appropriately. He didn't like the way I enunciated because I have a Southern accent. So he was critical of my Southern accent, and I said, look, when I communicate 100 times better than you do. I have more conviction, I have more passion, I have more believability, I can get more people to do what I want them to. You are more worried about the enunciation than you are the conviction. You know, you're not going to be able to get 15 people to sign up to get behind you and want to do what you ask them to. So my point is, part of being a great leader is, I've spent time becoming an expert. I got 30 minutes with my team or 15 minutes with my team, and I could go through some drill and say, hey, here's where numbers are, here's where March is, here's where May is, here's what's coming down the pipeline. You know, that's all I got to say. So I want you, a worker. Put yourself in the mind of an everyday worker that shows up to work and try to just make it through the day.
If this guy doesn't care about what he's saying, why should I care about
That's right.
Hey,
if he don't have any conviction about this, why should I? Because he's making more money than I am. And he don't even seem to care at all about this, or he didn't put any thought into this, or he, you know, so he don't have anything to say. Right? So part of this commanding presence, right, is I am a person of authority. Like, I put myself in your shoes. I don't want to just be some manager down here. How do I get to be where I'm a leader of the whole division of this company? I need you to see me as a person of interest. You see what I'm saying? And part of that is projecting. What do I project? What kind of energy? What kind of conviction? What kind of mindset? What kind of good? It's not just about skill set. You cannot ever be sold this lie that if I'm just really, really good at what I do and I'm very methodical, then they'll put me into a leadership position. There's only one or two of those, three of those positions available. That makes sense? What if you're really, really, really good and you can communicate effectively? And you say it with passion and conviction. And people are just running through the walls to work for you. How much does your stock go up then? See what I'm saying? So I see a lot of people, a lot of executives and managers that never take time to be good at how they communicate their message. Everybody follow me? They don't think about it. They think, well, you know, I'm either a good communicator, I'm a bad communicator. This is not my forte. I'm a really skilled technician. In my opinion, your stock goes up when you are a great technician at what you do and you can communicate and get people so jacked up to work for you that people are asking, how do I come work on in your division? Because everybody wants to work with you. Okay? So here's a rhythm. When you're sharing messages, number one, here's what we believe. Or I believe. You could say, I believe there's never been a better time to do this and this. I believe we're sitting on tons of opportunity. I believe that we had a good first quarter, but there's a bigger quarter in us. I believe we're sitting on acres of diamonds. I believe if we just fix two things, we could be great. I believe we can get everybody on the same page. Now, why would I lead with what I believe?
It's a conviction statement.
That's right. And here's the deal. Some people, here's what I want to know about you. What do you believe? Like, I work with you every day, but I don't know what your point of view is. Do you believe in this? Do you believe in this? What do you believe? Now, if I know what you believe, I can believe it too. Okay? Maybe I don't believe it too. And here's the deal. The people that don't believe the same things you do, they're not going to last long with you, are they? Those are the only people you get off the bus, right or wrong. Okay? So I like to say, let me tell you what I believe. It doesn't have to be formal. I believe everybody needs a coach. I believe people don't run through the wall for their manager, but they do run through the wall for their coach. I believe in having something valuable to say. Okay? Here's some conviction, because you know why? I believe it. It's in my core. Okay? Martin Luther King said what? I have a dream. I have a vision. I have a dream. Okay? Conviction. Right? Number 2, tell me why you believe it. Why do you believe it? Okay? So you may hear me say, I believe everybody needs a coach in life because you can't see the picture when you're inside the frame. Okay? This past week I was on a TV station in New York City. 1 million people watched me on TV on Monday in New York City, on Good Day New York. And you know when I said I believe everybody needs a coach in life? Let me tell you why I believe that. I believe we're either in a dynamic, static, or entropic state at all times. I believe you cannot see the picture when you're inside the frame. I believe we get stuck in a rut without another person challenging us. That makes sense? So I give you my belief and then I support it. Okay? Now, I've taught you guys something that's very critical to this. When you come in there and just spit out numbers to me about, well, we did this, well, we did this, well, we did this, the only part that touches me, see, body, mind, heart, spirit. You do not touch me. When you just give me numbers, let's say you give me knowledge. Okay? When you just say, hey, here's the numbers we did, here's this we did, you don't touch me in my heart and you don't touch me in my spirit. And so I'm just sitting there like this. Okay? I'm trying to hit a person right here. This is where I get the most out of you. Okay? I don't get the most out of you when I just regurgitate numbers. Here's what I believe. Here's why I believe it. We're sitting on some huge opportunity here. If we do this in the next quarter, let me tell you what's going to happen. And Phil, you ever seen the debate where Clinton and Bush in '92 were in a debate, and a woman asked the older Bush, how is this recession, they were in a recession, going to affect you in the White House? And he stood behind the podium and he said, well, are you asking how it would affect me personally? Or, this is George Bush Sr., right? And well, it affects everybody, blah, blah, blah. What did Bill Clinton do? He walked out from behind the podium and he walked right out there to that woman. And he said, ma'am, let me tell you how this is going to personally affect me. The people I represent in Arkansas, we got 67% poverty. Every person during this recession is going to lose this much money. You see what I'm saying? Everybody who studied that presidential election said he won the election right there. Right in that moment. Because he connected to the everyday American. I know exactly how you feel. Let me tell you exactly what's going to happen. Where's he touching people? George Bush stood behind the podium and talked like this. Well, GDP, this, all he's doing is touching people here. Clinton, no matter if you like him or not, knew how to connect to an everyday person in a way that got him to take action, okay? So for you, here's what I believe. Here's why I believe it. Here's what it is we're going to do in the next 90 days. Now, the reason I say that to you, Drew, I'm kind of throwing this on you at the last minute. I don't expect you to have to use all this today. But you need to become skilled. And when somebody says, hey, Drew, we're putting you in charge of that, we're going to let you lead this meeting, you get up and say, look, I know how you feel. We've been working 18-hour days. I know you're tired. I know you're hungry. I know you're exhausted. I know you're sick of seeing each other. I know what you feel. Let me tell you what we're going to do. Over the next 90 days, we got some big things happening around here. And we're doing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing this. Man, it's going to be awesome for you. Now I'm touching you over here. This is vision. Confidence. Confidence. This is heart, passion. Do you know how long I'd spend preparing my pregame talks when I was a coach? I thought about it all week. I literally would think about it, watch things, listen to things, read things, and I wanted to give my best talk right before that game. And I would come in, my team was ready. This is before we get on the bus to go somewhere, and my team would be in there ready. And I thought about it all week, and I'd come in and I'd tell stories, and I'd talk about the significance. I'd talk about how I've seen people change and transform, and how we're going to do big things. And I would say my best talk, okay? And that was my pre-game talk. That was the one before we got on the bus. Then I landed my knockout punch right before the game. Does that make sense? Remember what I said this afternoon? Remember how I told you this is going to change people's lives? Remember how I told you this is going to change the history of our school when we win? Does that make sense? And I would paint pictures and show. Here's what we're going to do tonight. Step by step by step. Then I would say, here's how we're going to do it a little bit different. The last thing you want, don't ever forget this as a manager, is boredom. The last thing you want is people to get into a complacent state. Right? I threw a thunderbolt to my team this morning. This morning I woke up pissed off. You ever wake up pissed off?
4 out of 5 days a week.
Yeah. But you know what I did? I didn't keep that to myself. I let my team know I was pissed off. Because we lost a customer yesterday. And although I think the customer's a complete bozo, I used it as an opportunity to wake my team up. So I started it off and I said, look, I'm pissed off about this. And I'm paying you a lot of money and you a lot of money for this not to happen. Here are 10 ways I believe we can get better. Now get better. You understand what I'm saying? Now, it's my job. Now, let me tell you some of that. Some of that you say, well, it's dramatic. Wayne, sometimes it has to be dramatic. Because you know why? Sometimes we got to wake people up. Does that make sense? When I say don't let it happen again, don't let it happen again. I ain't playing around here. Sometimes they need to see you say, look, I'm not going to let you get complacent. I'm not going to let you get into a static state. I'm not going to let you be mediocre. Now, although that customer's a bozo, he quit on himself, not on us. Let me tell you what we could have done better. There's at least 10 things we could have done better. You understand what I'm saying here? Use it as a teaching example, but don't let people get bored. Don't let people get static, okay? And then I think there's a call to action. There's always a call to action. And the call to action is, we're not just pulling you over here to make you feel good for 15 minutes and feed you cotton candy. I get why motivation is important. That's why we're doing this. But here's what we need to do better when we go back to work this afternoon. Here's what we need to get better at. I've seen CEOs of companies get up and say, look, it's too much whining, too much complaining, too much belly aching. I ain't listening to that. Because here we don't whine, we don't complain, and we don't make excuses. That make sense? So suck it up, buttercup, get your attitude right, and let's go. Because when I leave here today, we ain't dealing with some of these little problems anymore. Or there's 3 things that's going to happen. Think about a demonstrated capacity. Okay? The demonstrated capacity from today's course for you is, do you even have a point of view that you're sharing? Can you even say it with any conviction? All right, that's the first demonstrated capacity. And the second demonstrated capacity is we're going to look at some efficiencies. How do you build a system of efficiency? Okay? So, let's stop right there and ask this question. What do you believe? Who would like to go? Wayne? If you were getting up today leading this group, what would you say?
When it pertains to...
Just the group we got this afternoon, and you'll have to play along with us because we leave here and go do it, the employees. So their subordinates get coaching after this once a month, and they're all operations people, right? And they're all weirdos, just kidding. But they're all operations people, and they're just employees, right? They're just everyday employees that show up every day and do their thing. They're young. Some of them are disgruntled. Some of them are happy. Some of them are pissed. Some of them are sad. Some of them, their boyfriend broke up with them this morning on the way into work. Some of them, their dog didn't like them. They're just regular employees. These 3 people right here have to try to get more out of these people. And the better they come at these people, the better they get, the better this whole operation operates. So Wayne, what would you say?
I believe there's a vast opportunity for us to improve what we're doing.
Nice. Y'all like that? Is it true? Yes or no? Wayne, I thought we were pretty good because Michael Matee told me we were pretty good.
Can always be better.
And I can tell you why I believe it.
Okay. What if you said, I believe we are very good? And if we were compared versus our peers, maybe we rank in the top 10%. But I believe even the best can get better. You with me? Even Michael Jordan had a coach. Even Steve Jobs took a walk with Bill Campbell every Sunday, his business coach. You understand what I'm saying? Here's what I believe. Here's what I said. I believe that we lost a customer yesterday, mostly because of him. But let me tell you what I believe. I believe there's 10 things we can do better to make sure it doesn't happen again. You with me? So this is very critical. Now, when you say that, there's going to be a percentage of people in the room, even that you're paying, that don't believe the same things you do. Right or wrong? There's going to be some people over there go, what more they want from me? My kidney? I'm working as hard as I can here, for God's sakes. I don't make enough money. I don't have enough benefits. That bozo there is 2 years older than me, and he makes a lot more money than I do. That's what they're thinking. If you don't think they're thinking that, you've lost your mind. That's exactly what they're thinking. Here's what I would tell you. Who cares? I'm only looking for people looking for me. Does that make sense? You know what I'd be doing if I was you? I'm looking around the room on who's on board with me. Who will go to war with me? Right? It's only a matter of time for I weed out the bozos that won't. And I will weed them out. That's how I think. I don't need all these people in here that ain't on board, that can't show up to work on time, that can't have a good attitude. It's only a matter of time before I get rid of you. You don't know it yet, but it's going to happen. Because when I keep whittling this down to the best people in the world, you may or may not be here. Does that make sense? So when I'm up there talking, I'm trying to read your body language. Like when I do you guys meetings, I walk around that room and I go, I get rid of that person, and I get rid of that person. I know, based on body language, if they're even interested in their own potential. You know what I mean? You could put them like in a police lineup, and I could tell you who's on board with you and who ain't. So for you, I like what you said. I believe there's a vast number of ways that we can get better. I believe we're good, but I believe there's a whole lot of ways we can get better, right? Now, let me tell you why I believe that. I've been studying over the last 90 days some of our inefficiencies, some of the areas that are costing us money, some of these things, okay? And here's what you need to know that maybe you don't know, because sometimes there's some inside baseball that you don't know, right? Sometimes there's things going on that you don't know that I know, because I see the whole picture and you see a little bit part of that picture. So here's why I believe it. There's 3 areas I think we can get better at. Now, after today, here's what we're going to go work on over the next 90 days. Here's what we're going to be doing, okay? So I need your commitment. Who's in? Follow me? Now, here's how we're going to do it a little bit different when we leave today than we've been doing it, because I've detected a little bit of complacency in our group. Our efficiency, right? Whatever. Okay? So here's what I want to see when we leave today. Here's what I need you to do. Okay? So that's one of your belief statements, okay? Drew, what's one of your belief statements?
I believe that, we've got some really good people. Kind of going along with what Wayne said, we've got a lot of room to get better, but we can get better because we've got the potential
Okay.
in the people that we have.
Okay? What does that mean? Be specific with me. What kind of potential do we have, Drew?
Well, you look at these two guys right here, they run their shop so well.
Yes.
They're always finding new, we're stealing people from them right now. We're gonna go mold them, make them better over here.
Yep.
But, it's gonna cause some slack on their end, but ultimately, they'll pick it back up and teach people how to do their job.
What specifically do they do well that other people need to know?
Well, I think it would be really hard to keep people motivated to do a lot, like upload, loan, scan document, take package, put it here.
Yep.
It's really hard, I would think, because in our room, something's always different, scenario's always different. It's not just the same thing kind of over and over again. Things change. Things are very dynamic, I guess. It's not just the same.
That's right.
Same thing over and over again.
So how does
that may not be the case, correct me if I'm wrong, but that just feels like in some cases it would be like
When you
upload
go
information, clear,
Yeah.
same.
So I need you to pull out a little Clinton here. I need you to make me feel like you understand what I go through every day. Drew, I'm about to poke my eyeballs out here. I'm so freaking miserable, and you're trying to motivate me. It's to tell me I'm doing a good job. Can you feel how miserable I am or not?
Not really.
Okay.
I can't say that I know what that's like.
But I need you to try.
Yeah, I can try.
So when you tell a story about these two, You need to be very specific, because praising people in front of people is valuable. Praising people is valuable. Let me tell you what these two managers do that I admire and respect. They have the ability, you see what I'm saying? When I talk about my people like Takesha and Jack and Bill, I talk about them like this. I used to have a bunch of bozos on my team, and then I decided to upgrade my talent to world-class people. And I say it in front of them, them sitting in the room with me. You see what I'm saying? I edify them. Okay? And what I'm doing is I'm going, look, I got your back, man. So when you talk about people, be specific. These two managers do an unbelievable job of taking something that could be very boring and making it interesting. You see what I'm saying? And the more you can do that, the more buy-in you get from people. Because the only way I'm going to fight for you is if what? I think you're fighting for me. You follow me? So I want people to say, man, I would run through the wall for that freaking man right there. You know what he does for us? How much he believes in me? So here's what I believe. Here's why I believe it, guys. Here's what it is that we're going to do. Here's how we do it different. How many of you have sat through where an executive was speaking and they did not plan what they were going to say? It was not impactful at all. And you're like, come on, man, you're really good. Say something good. Right or wrong? Yes. I mean, like, you're good. You're a genius. Say something, genius. Okay? And I'm trying to get you ready, because if you want to keep growing in your deals, you know, if I learned anything by being on a station on Monday with 1 million people watching, you know what I learned? I got to have conviction when I'm selling my ideas. Right? I got to have conviction. It ain't lukewarm like, you know, hey, thanks for having me today. You know, I believe everybody needs a good coach in life. I got to sell it. I got to sell my conviction. Okay? All right, what are your beliefs? Now, I hear this a lot with communication. We're not very good communicators, blah, 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 blah. What do I want to know? Did you play sports in school? Mm-hmm. I played basketball and baseball. And I was a better baseball player than I was basketball, but I liked basketball better than I did baseball. And my high school basketball coach, one of them that played at the University of Tennessee, always said this to me: too slow. You're too slow. Burt, you're too slow. Guess what he never told me?
How to get faster.
How do I get faster? Never told me. He always just said, you're too slow. Quit being so slow. I'm 16 years old. I'm like, tell me what to do. Do I need to do quick feet? Do I need to jump rope for 3 hours? Do I need to run through ladders? What do I need to do? You're the expert and I'm a kid. Right? So when you use communication, you need to say, I think there's 3 things we can do to communicate better. You see what I'm saying? We need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. I noticed that people are not following up on their emails until 3 days later. Let me tell you how it cost us. I noticed that when you do communicate, you don't do this, this, and this. You need to go back to like that high school coach. He was the coach. I'm like, freaking tell me what I need to do, man. Don't just tell me I'm slow. Don't just tell a person, well, you need to improve your attitude. What does that mean? Show up earlier, smile more, be happy, don't create drama, quit pouting when somebody tells you something, be specific. Does that make sense? So I believe, hey, we've gotten better. What does that mean? Are we a little bit better? We're a lot better? I believe we're getting better every day. Let me tell you what we've done. We've picked up this, this, and this. Call people out. I've noticed you doing a much better job communicating. I've noticed you taking more initiative. Thank you for that. Highlight people. People need recognition, especially 20 to 30-year-olds more than anybody. Old people like me don't need it as much, me and you, right? We do need it, but we don't need it like a 20 to 30-year-old needs it, okay? Because we're from a different generation. We grew up walking to school with bare feet, up a hill, in the snow. Somebody yelling at us and spanking us with a whip. You understand what I'm saying? We don't need somebody to tell us how great we are. But my daughter needs it. When I was a high school basketball coach, those 15-year-olds needed it. Does that make sense? So specificity, not general. Not, hey, we did a good job of communication. I think we can get a little bit better. What do I need to do? Right? I'm working here. I'm hungry. Okay? All right. What about you? What do you believe?
I'm thinking of my team. I believe that we can improve some of the processes that we have on our team.
Okay.
That would make our team more efficient in the way we accomplish our tasks.
Okay, good. And because of that, I believe this. What are we going to do different?
We're going to look at our processes
Okay, there you go. We're going to spend 4 weeks examining our processes, finding every inefficiency we've got. We're going to do an audit on our processes. Does that make sense? So what I'm trying to get you guys to do is I don't want you to get the opportunity to get in front of a group of people and blow it because you don't know how to communicate effectively. This is part of being an executive. This is part of being a manager, a coach. Coaches are some of the greatest communicators in the world. You watch the 30 for 30 on John Calipari? You need to watch that. You see how good he is at communicating? That's why he makes $9 million a year. Right? He is an unbelievable communicator. Let me tell you something. He came and spoke in Murfreesboro last week, and I didn't get to see him speak, but you know what a person told me? He came early, and he walked around and sat at every person's table before he spoke. You know what he knows? Somebody in there's got a player for him. Cousin, friend. So this is a room of probably 1,000 people. He showed up early, and he went and sat at every person's table and communicated around the table with them. And then he'd get up and move to the next one. He don't have to do that. He's the head coach of the Kentucky Wildcats. You know why he did it? Because he's an unbelievable communicator. Okay? And I can't tell you how many executives get up and they don't have nothing to say. It's pitiful, man. They need coaching. I'm sitting over there like, oh my God, somebody coach them. Somebody coach them. Now, which part of this do you think is the hardest part? Now, the reason I show you this is a rhythm. This is a rhythm. And when you have a rhythm, I can put you in a room and I can go, like a little wind-up doll. Go. And let me tell you what I believe. Let me tell you why I believe it. Let me tell you what it is we're going to do. Let me tell you how we're going to do it a little bit different. Okay? From today, here's 3 things we're going to go take action on. Bam. And you know what that's going to project? Confidence. This man knows what he's talking about. This man is going somewhere. You follow me? This woman is going somewhere. And I want to be on board the bus. I'm interested. Versus, we're doing a town hall meeting and let me, this, that, blah. Give me some meat. Okay? Now, big time executives have coaching for this. They have people come in and coach them on this. So when they lead their shareholder meetings, when they lead things, they say it in a powerful, especially if they do media. If you watch, you guys have your TVs on all day long, they don't get on Bloomberg, MSNBC, Squawk Box without having coaching. People tell them what to say. People critique how they say it. You didn't deliver your point strong enough. You didn't pivot. You didn't use it as a chance to be, right? Does that make sense? Okay? Could a person's stock go up or down? Could a company's stock go up or down based on how a person delivers that in the morning? Yes or no? You better believe it. How much stock did United lose when they drug a person off the plane? $1 billion in a day. $1 billion. Not a few 100,000, $1 billion. You know why? What's the number one thing that they did? The CEO responded poorly to the crisis. He blamed it on the passenger. He spent the first day, said that the passenger was unruly, wouldn't get off the plane, and that cost him $1 billion by saying that. He may have been right. But the way he said it was not strong. Now, the very same thing happened a few weeks later with American. That CEO come out and said, we're wrong, we'll fix it, here's what we did to take advantage of it. Not a story. It's gone. It's over. One day, story's gone. United drug it out for 2 weeks because of the way the CEO responded to it. And he probably got fired. He lost his board seat. That probably cost him $30, $40 million. All because he didn't communicate strong. See, y'all are young. Y'all need to get better at this right now. We're not in Lexington anymore. You see what I'm saying? We're in the big city, and it's time to get better. It's time to grow up and be executives, okay? It's time to grow up and be big boys and big girls, okay? So this is important. Now, and we got a little bit of short in class today because we got our next thing. What time does it start over there? 1:45 too? 1:45. So I've got one more big thing I want to tell you. And this is going to be a homework assignment for you. Number one is I want you to send me this framework for you. Everybody with me? I want you to send it to me. Send me your point of view. Email it to me, and I'll critique it. The other thing I want to see is I want you to watch the movie The Founder, which is about Ray Kroc and McDonald's. And you say, why in the world do you have me watch this movie? Ray Kroc McDonald's was a symphony of efficiency. A symphony of efficiency. What those McDonald brothers did was genius. They created a system to speed up the manufacturing of a product with little or no error. Okay? And in those days, when you went to the car hop, you pulled up and ordered and it took them 30 minutes to cook the burger. Well, McDonald's comes along, you order it, they reach back and get it and hand it to you. And people are like, what is this? That's your food. And it's the way they designed the stores. They designed the stores with minimal movement from here to here to here. And they drew it up. They drew it up on a tennis court. They drew up what the McDonald's would look like. And they put every little person out there and they practiced. How fast can I hand this? How do we cook the fries? How much mustard do we put on? How many pickles do we put? How fast do we deliver it? It is just the manufacturing of a product pushed through an assembly line and pumped out to a customer. Does that sound like what you do today? Yes, it is. So Ray Kroc comes along, who's selling milkshakes, and he sees this, and he's like, this is amazing. This is the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. You got to franchise this. You know what they say? Nope. We tried that with 3 stores, and the quality control was bad. They didn't make it just like we made it, so we're not franchising this. Ray Kroc says, you got to franchise it. This is unbelievable. And they say, we're not franchising it. We want our own little store and called McDonald's in San Bernardino, California, and we're never getting bigger than this. And he convinces them to franchise it. They begin to franchise it. He goes out and sells franchises only to find out that the quality control sucks. So now they're adding lettuce to the burgers. They don't cook the fries long enough, right? Until he figures this out. If I get the right manager, if I get a manager who believes the same things I do in quality, speed, and we believe the same things, we can make a fortune with McDonald's. Now, here's the problem. Ray Kroc owned 1.4%. He got 1.4% was his payment. So he figures out, I can't make any money with this. He's building franchises. And he goes to the bank 3 months late on his mortgage. He mortgaged his house. And he's talking to the banker saying, just give me a chance, give me a chance. And the guy heard him beside of him, a business person. And the business person says, can I talk to you for a second? He said, you don't understand what business you're in. You're not in the McDonald's burgers business. You're in the real estate business. The McDonald's brothers do own everything inside that store, but what they do not own is the land of which those buildings can be built on. So what I want you to do is go buy the land in all these areas. They have to rent their buildings from you, which is not in your contract. And Ray Kroc made millions and millions of dollars. He goes back to the McDonald's brothers and says, what? How much will it cost me to get you out of the equation? They say $2.7 million. Here's your check. They have to give him the name McDonald's for $2.7 million. They have their own hamburger shop, and he builds a McDonald's right across the street from theirs and puts them out of business. And the McDonald's brothers go away. And Ray Kroc becomes the founder of McDonald's. But he really didn't found it. He just scaled it. Now I'm going to show you this clip, okay? And then we're going to get you out of here. But I want you thinking, when I watched this movie, I took pages of notes. You know what I said? We are so inefficient. Compared to how efficient we could be with the manufacturing of our product, we are so inefficient. You with me? So I watch movies to learn things. I don't watch movies for pleasure. When you watch this movie, you're going to think about your own business. And you're going to think about how inefficient we are and where we can pick up efficiency. And it's going to make you think a lot bigger. It's going to make you think, hey, how do I make this like this? How do I blow this up, right? So the homework assignments are simple. You're going to send me your point of view based on these 5 things, and I'm going to critique it. Okay? I'm going to critique you this afternoon when I watch you. Okay? And then I want you to watch this, and I want you to send me what it is you picked up from this for your role. Does that make sense? Because this is all about quality control. This is all about scaling something. This is all about speed. This is all about efficiency. This is going to make you a much better manager. Now, notice what he does in the movie is when he hires people that don't believe the same things he does, that's when the quality control goes down. When he hires the right managers, the quality control goes up. They run those shops just like the very first McDonald's. Okay? So you may have people, you may have a wolf in your hen house. Like he said, that don't believe the same things you do. Okay? Any questions? Now, I'm going to ask you guys a question before we get over there. What do you think these people that we're about to speak to, what do you think they need?
Depends on which group you're looking at.
Your group.
My group?
Yeah.
We need some help.
Okay.
We need more people.
All right. So what happens when you don't have enough people?
We go take them from the other group.
Yeah, besides that, what happens?
Need more people. People get overworked, stressed,
Yep.
strung out.
Yep. It's when the pills and alcohol show up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So when
It's
you
a mortgage business.
yeah, yeah, but name one mortgage business that don't need more help.
Yeah.
I need more help. You need more help right now? We all need more help. I was somewhere the other day, and it was some regular everyday business, and he's like, man, I just can't service all the business. I need more help. This is the world today, isn't it? Oh, it was an air conditioning business. He said, man, I got so many calls. He was in New York City. He said, I got so many calls, I can't even get to all of them. But we can't find any technicians. So you know what I told him? You got to build your own little school of technicians that takes kids right out of high school, grow them here, home grow them. And he's like, but it'll take them a long time to get trained. I said, that's better than what you currently got. You got nothing except you. Right? Build your own little school. That's what I told him, man. Build your own little school where you take kids, grow them up, take them to work. I said, let them ride with you every day for X number of period of time and train them. Give them the low value activity that you can do. Let them watch a master do it every day. Right? Get in there and train them. And he just, I'm so busy, how do I train them? They ride with you. That's how you train them. They watch you every day. Right? What's the 3 steps? Watch a master, practice what the master does, become a master. Everybody follow me? Okay, all right. I'll give you till, let's say, middle of next week to do both of these assignments next Wednesday. Okay? All right. Thank you very much.